Welcome to my review of Saints Row 4 Re-elected on the Nintendo Switch. This is Juan Romero from Switchwatch. Presidents, UFOs, explosions, matrix, simulations, superheroes and much more. What am I talking about? Well, if you've played Saints Row 4 on other consoles, it's been ported now to the Nintendo Switch. One of the most insane games you will play, but is it any good? Stay tuned to find out. Now, Saints Row 4 originally came out on the 360 and PS3 back in 2013. Saints Row 4 Re-elected, however, came out on Xbox One and PS4 a few more years later, which basically had all the DLC and a boost up in graphical fidelity. And well, this is the version we have on the Nintendo Switch today. As with any port, for those of you that have already played this, wanting to know if it performs well on the Nintendo Switch, maybe for a double dip opportunity, we'll start with the performance. And for those of you that are brand new to the franchise, we'll get into the rest of the review after this. Now, for the most part, the game performs rather well on the Nintendo Switch. I did play most of the game in docked mode, and it runs at 30 frames per second at 1080p. And when running at high speeds across the map, making use of those incredible jumps up and across buildings using those superpowers, I did find that it ran rather well. A few stutters here and there, but nothing that stopped my enjoyment of the game. In handheld mode, the game looked rather dark even when turning the brightness up full. It of course takes a hit also to its visual fidelity. However, in handheld, it also played very well, and I didn't notice too many dips or stutters. The game's visuals, of course, this is a port really of an old game. There's still quite a lot of jagged edges and, a lot of parts that look a little muddy. Certainly not the quality that you'd expect with a game that was made today, but that's by the by, this is an old game. So just bear that in mind for those of you looking for a very high fidelity visual game. It's not that. However, it makes up for it in its gameplay, which we'll get to soon enough. Now, the story in Saints Row 4 is probably not worth talking about too much. It's so far removed from the previous installments of building your criminal empire that it's just absolute nonsense, I have to be honest. For players that enjoyed the first 3 installments, this may have gone way too far into what the hell were they smoking when this was written. For others that play this installment first, it's kind of like, holy crap, this is nuts, but who cares? I'm still having a lot of fun. Suffice to say, from what I picked up, it was about an alien invasion. While you're president of the United States, you get put into a simulation, which reminded me a lot of the Matrix, and you need to somehow get out of it to destroy this alien race. I think that about sums it up. For me, however, this game was always about the gameplay. If you watched our review of Part 3, then this is more of the same, but amped up to the max. And some new introduced game mechanics, which do have some downsides in my view, but nevertheless, there's lots of fun to be had here. For those that don't know, Saints Row is an open world action game. You can either complete the main quests or take part in side missions dotted all around the map. Alternatively, you can go around causing havoc at your leisure. My favourite was definitely Part 2, as I did enjoy the story, but I do have to admit the gameplay here is just so over the top and unadulterated crazy fun from the crazy weapons, superpowers and vehicles. I want to start off by saying that creating a character is actually a fun experience. There's many options, but as far as my daughter was concerned, I had to have red hair. However, there is plenty more variation. As you begin, there are a bunch of missions to further the story along, which I had fun completing. If you're a movie buff, then you're going to just absolutely love some of the movie references here and fantastic humour, which I think this series has always had and never really lost. Saints Row pulls this off because they have some great music incorporated into the game itself, which when you hear these tracks will transport you and evoke memories. Now, the main difference in this game is the superpowers you're given, which allow you to traverse the maps at great speeds and jump off buildings and up buildings, leading to some cool little side missions and ways to explore the map. My only problem with this is you can end up getting from one place to another very quickly by just running, which leads to seeing a lot of the map quicker than I would have liked. Seems like a weird criticism, you may think, but when you've played it for a number of hours, you'll know what I mean. I'm old-fashioned, I guess, in that sense. You know, I still like to steal a car and drive myself to my destination while seeing some of the sights along the way, causing havoc. Although that's not to say you can't still do that. I suppose it's nice to have the option while running around the city like the Flash and smashing cars and whatever else are in your way, and incorporating, I would say, rather more crazy fun missions because of these mechanics. The benefit of being invaded by aliens and being in a simulation is you can practically do some utterly nuts stuff, like one mission has you flying a UFO and causing as much devastation as possible, which I just love because there's some more variety here, like controlling a spaceship. This game for me came along at the right time. It's what I needed right now, a game which is fun to play, one that doesn't take itself too seriously at all, and it's just a great laugh, one which is mindless fun and can take your mind off things for a while, a great release if you will. I don't know, as our reality right now is a little bit more bleak than it was a few weeks or months ago. Being transported to another place and wrecking your own havoc is just what I needed. Has a bit of everything here. If you want to have some cool gunplay, then it's a fun time on missions where you'll be coming across aliens to take out. If you want to drive around for a bit, then there's a wealth of vehicles you can steal too and have fun with while listening to some great radio stations. If you want to run around the city like a superhero while jumping all over the place, you can do that too and have a blast. And if you want to cause violence, then you have a lot of tools at your disposal. Laser guns, machine guns, pistols, shotguns and bats, all other kinds of weapons and vehicles to cause damage. I'm not going to recommend this for its story, but Saints Row 4 has all of the gameplay elements you loved from previous installments and gives you some utterly crazy stuff to do. I think some may like the gameplay direction this took, while others will want to go back to Saints Row 2 or 3 maybe, where the story was a little bit better. But the game in reality is just off the scale. There's a local co-op mode for those that want to wreak havoc together, which was well implemented too. Now I wanted to talk about the music in Saints Row. I think it's absolutely top notch. Some absolute top tunes here are included here, and if you like movies, well, some of those are going to have some movie references. Radio stations like The Mix include tracks like Aerosmith, I Don't Want to Miss a Thing, which played whilst I was trying to climb onto a rocket. Montel Jordan's This Is How We Do It as I was gunning down a raft of aliens was just apt. And Hideaway's What Is Love and Cypress Hill's Insane in the Brain, but to name a few other great tracks. The Mix radio station was certainly my number one. But there are 109 songs spread over stations, so certainly something for everyone to listen to here, and it worked fantastically well with some of the hilarious references and humour in the story parts of the game. When you're traversing the map, you can go with whatever you want. I was a little bit disappointed with the sound effects of the cars. I would have been nice had they sounded a bit beefier, more sound when you brake hard and skid around a corner, but it's a tiny criticism. The guns themselves sound great, and so does the destruction, all doing a good job sounding good, which is what it's supposed to do. In terms of value, the game is priced at $34.99 in the UK and $39.99 and in Europe respectively. If it were me, I would head on over to Amazon and pick up that physical for the same price. Is it worth the money? Well, that depends if you already played this. It offers nothing new really on the Switch version over the other versions other than being able to take it portable. You're looking at 15 hours to complete the main story. If you add on the DLC, about 21. And you know as well as I do with these games, the side missions and messing about in the city, you could easily spend 40 hours plus completing everything. None of it's that challenging though, but it is just a good fun time. Also, this version includes DLC which has Enter the Dominatrix, How the Saints Saved Christmas, both pretty fun but short. By verdict then, Saints Row 4 Re-Elected has a banana story, but don't buy it for that. Buy this for its humour, music and overall fun gameplay. It's utter mindless fun, which is certainly what many of us need to unwind right now. Has all of the great DLC and is a complete package for a decent enough price. A solid 8 out of 10. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening and supporting. If you enjoyed this video, then please leave a thumbs up. If you didn't enjoy it, then hit that thumbs down. We really do appreciate all of your comments, so if you have something to say, please leave a comment down below. about this game or any other game for that matter. We love discussing gaming, and if you look at our previous videos, we try and respond to as many of you as possible. If you're a new watcher here, then why not hit that subscribe button and bell notification so you know when our next video goes live. I'm going to put some other videos up above now. I'll show you our physical video, which goes live every Monday, our bargains video, which goes live every Sunday, and best of all, another one of my reviews. Take care, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Juan Romero, and I'll see you on the next one.